everyone. I'm Judge Janine Pirro, along with Harold Ford Jr., Jesse Waters, Dana Perino, and Brian Kilmeade. It's 5 o'clock in New York City, and this is The Five. President Biden desperate for a solution to surging gas prices. So now he's rolling out a plan his old boss, Barack Obama, once called a gimmick. Joe Biden calling on Congress to suspend the federal gas tax for 3 months, but has no plans to increase oil production. Most experts say Biden's plan will make inflation worse, and even some Democrats don't support it. But apparently, no one told Joe that.
I'm calling on Congress to suspend the federal gas tax for the next 90 days through the busy summer season, busy travel season. To the companies running gas stations and setting those prices at the pump, this is a time of war, global peril, Ukraine. These are not normal times. Bring down the price you are charging at the pump to reflect the cost you are paying for the product. Do it now. Do it today. I'm doing my part. I want the Congress, the states, and the industry to do their part as well.
Biden also using this speech to bash his usual suspects for soaring inflation, Republicans and Vladimir Putin.
I know my Republican friends claim we're not producing enough oil, and I'm limiting oil production. Quite frankly, that's nonsense. For all those Republicans in Congress criticizing me today for high gas prices in America, are you now saying we were wrong to support Ukraine? Are you saying we were wrong to stand up to Putin? Are you saying that we would rather have lower gas prices in America and Putin's iron fist in Europe?
And after months of the White House blaming Putin, Biden getting humiliated by his own Fed chair on that talking point.
Would you say that the war in Ukraine is the primary driver of inflation in America?
No, inflation was high before, certainly before the war in Ukraine broke out.
Okay. All right, Jesse, inflation was high certainly before the war in Ukraine broke out.
That hurts, and the Republicans should run that soundbite all up until November. Biden knows he'll get primaried if he unshackles the American industry, so he's tinkering around with gimmicks, and he's doing nothing about supply. We ran the numbers, and over 3 months, this is going to save the average American driver $17. I mean, I'll take the savings, but that really does absolutely nothing. The only thing that's going to bring down gas prices, you increase supply or you have a recession. And Powell's doing a great job of ushering in the recession. But until then, you have to boost supply. So he's traveling to the Saudi Arabian kingdom, and he's going to beg the crown prince to boost production. The prince is going to say, take a hike. He hates the president. Get in line. And he's going to now not unleash American energy. He's saying he's not doing anything to tamp down domestic production. I have headlines here. It delays oil and gas leases again, cancels Alaskan lease, cancels offshore leases in the Gulf. Wyoming, New Mexico, Texas, Colorado. I mean, he cancels leases like dinner reservations. He doesn't think anything of it. Refineries are at capacity. They can't do any more. It's because we haven't been allowed to build another one since the 1970s. And he's just hitting these people with lawsuits and regulations. He should implore the Jones Act. Pretend like we have a hurricane. Let these refineries go at full throttle, and that's going to work. I'm angry because if you look at what he's done, he got in bed with China's biggest oil and gas conglomerate and was taking kickbacks from them. That's the kind of green he really cares about. He doesn't have solar panels in Delaware. His son drives a Porsche. He drives a Camaro. He's done everything he can to reduce domestic energy production. And I just think there's no way this is going anywhere. You heard Nancy say that. I don't know. I think we're going to be paying a lot.
You know, Brian, he called on the fossil fuel industry to drill more oil, and then he has the unmitigated gall to call on the gas stations to lower the prices, essentially accusing them of price gouging. And if that were the case, I mean, these are the mom and pop gas stations, get your Department of Justice after them. Put your money where your mouth is.
Every time I walk in a gas station, I say, look at these billionaires. I look at these billionaires, ask me for change of a 20. And the 5-hour energy, they just are actually gouging us. It's unbelievable. He doesn't understand. The one thing is pretty clear. He doesn't admit what he doesn't know. He doesn't understand the oil and gas industry. And they spelled it out for him. What I thought was so interesting, and Harold, I know you can appreciate this. The oil and gas industry didn't get personal. They got specific. They gave him some things that need to be done. He said, I know you called me out. So they said, I want you to create a tax credit for hydrogen production. I want you to end permitting obstruction on natural gas projects, rescind steel tariffs, accelerate LNG, fix the environmental rules, and make them simpler to handle, and give them a timeline on when they can approve. And he came back and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I hurt your feelings." What an insult! You didn't hurt their feelings. You didn't read their letter of things that could be done so they could actually get something done. Just real quick about Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin is relishing the fact that we are allowing him to be the hero who are throttling the West with inflation and high gas prices. He is actually pushing up the pressure and rallying his country, saying he is hurting the West. Just listen to Joe Biden. In order to help his political fortunes in 5 months, which are doomed, he is making Vladimir Putin seem bigger than life. There's no excuse for that. We are not in a time of war right now. This is not war. He ended our last war and humiliated us in the process.
You know, Harold, what's amazing about it, he, in addition to blaming everyone from Putin to the mom and pop gas stations, he basically says, you Americans, you wanted us to stand up for democracy and freedom. You wanted us to go to war in Ukraine. You knew that that was going to affect prices. So it's our fault, too. I mean, does this guy have a clue?
Well, I give him some credit for trying. I do
Trying
think,
what?
Well, I give him some credit for trying, and I don't give him a lot of credit, but I give him some credit. He's not going to enjoy support amongst Democrats in the Congress for this. Speaker Pelosi, I think you cited rightly so, Jesse, is not in favor of this. Look, I've said all along, I listened to his National Economic Council director on Sunday. I was on with him on Fox News Sunday, and he answered the question, how do you justify going to see the Prince of Saudi Arabia when you've said these horrible things about him? He said, when the nation's security interests are at stake, the president will visit with people. Well, our security is at stake, and we need to not vilify U.S. companies, but bring them into the room. Energy companies, oil companies alike, understand what it is they're doing and how they can even be more helpful, and what support they may need, to Brian's point, around the certainty around not just drilling, but refining, and for that matter, the other permitting they need. Give them what they need. I'm not saying turn it all over to them, but there has. Well, I think that letter laid out what they wanted. I think you've got to do it. You also have to reverse the Keystone Pipeline decision. As much as some Democrats don't want to do that, we are at a perilous moment in terms of not only gas prices, fuel prices. And to your point, Brian, I think something that's being overlooked, Putin is certainly benefiting from this politically, and we shouldn't give him an economic win as well. If I were the president in that team, I'd reassess it all, I'd put it all on the table and say to our voters and supporters, even those who might primary him, I've got to look out for the interests of the country and put that first.
And, you know, Dana, I mean, with Putin, the ruble is stronger than it's ever been. Putin is sitting strong over there in Russia. So Putin is making fun of us. And in the end, everything about what Biden is doing is not helping America. It's helping China, Russia, and inflation and a bad economy.
Remember when he said that we'll wait a month and see how the sanctions go? Yeah. And then but now it's been several months, and we know how they're going. They're not going fast enough. The other thing is that President Biden, I understand that he brought NATO together. Great, they're going to meet at the end of the month. But many other countries are not fulfilling their obligations to get the Ukrainians the weapons that they need. So instead of them helping them win quickly, they're allowing them to die slowly. And that is also an outrage. So when he asks, do you think that we shouldn't have supported the Ukrainians? Like, nobody is suggesting that. And you can help the Ukrainians and open domestic oil and gas. On the communications front, usually when you are going to roll out a policy like this, you've actually checked the box with your own party and everybody's in line. Nope, not so much. Everybody on the Hill is like, no, we're not going to do that. For different reasons, the Republicans have strong principles that, temporary tax policy is always worse than permanent tax policy because it just changes the way people work. And this would increase inflationary pressure.
Oh, yes.
I mean, but not very much if you're only saving $17. The other thing I would say is the administration is practicing a very disgusting practice called policy cannibalism because the gas tax funds the infrastructure bill. The president wants to hang his hat on the infrastructure bill. But now if you're going to take $10 billion or whatever it is from the infrastructure bill, now you've got the National Association of Manufacturers, also many unions, saying, wait, we're supposed to get that money in order to do our projects. So it's a big gong show moment for the Biden administration. Maybe they get credit for trying to come up with an idea, but it lasted a full 12 hours.
Yep.
And we were supposed to have a refinery built in the Virgin Islands, and it was green lighted. He could have done this and not paid a political price, and he stopped it. And no more offshore drilling.
Wow.
I mean, this is very obvious.
Amazing. It is amazing. You got to wonder
playing us for
what
idiots.
his intent is.
I know.
What is his intent?
I wish I knew. Harold?
Look, he's trying. I mean, again,
No.
I think he should be doing more, but I don't question the president's patriotism. I do question whether or not we're going to get the results we want.
Look, even Wharton did an analysis, and they said, that this whole thing, it seems counterintuitive, but in the end, this gas tax holiday, it's a nightmare.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.